Hello again, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Solomon, aka Boost. Mr. Chama, we are
Boy,
here.
yeah, we are here. We are here for
Finally,
the yeah, finally. It's been I think 2 weeks since the season ended.
it's been
So
2 weeks. Yeah, it seems longer than that. It kind of seems longer, but yeah, it's been just 2 weeks.
yeah.
Longer for me because obviously, the season that we had. But yeah, we are recording the final episode of the season. Game week 38 preview was 2 weeks ago. Obviously, this is like the season review, end of season review. So a lot of things to discuss basically, but anyway, timestamp, it's Monday today, the 9th of June. Is it Monday?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's Monday there and it's
it's,
Tuesday
it's
here.
it's Tuesday for you. Yeah, it's Tuesday for you. So yeah, good. So basically, we have a lot of things to discuss. We want to review our season. I think both of us haven't had like the best of seasons. We've had much better seasons, obviously, but it was a tough season for both of us, up and downs, and so yeah, but we finally made it, which is good. We finally saw it to the end because most men, I guess, would have checked out by the end of the season because things were not going according to plan, and there's so many things that you have to be really dialed in to really make those gains in rank. But it was difficult, man. It wasn't easy. But yeah, we finally made it. But yeah, we have a few segments: season recap, the good, the bad, the painful, top performance, total flops. So many things to discuss, but we just try to make it as segmented and concise as possible. But yeah, Chama, first of all, let's recap how your season ended with your last game week result, game week 38.
Mhm.
How was it looking? Did you finally climb the ranks? Did you end the season on a high or
not,
or not?
not necessarily. The only positive I would say I didn't go outside the 1 million, which was a worry.
That's not bad. Yeah.
But
You can
my
pull up your team. You can share your team. Let's just quickly glance through that.
yeah, let's
Let's
just
see.
glance it up. The
Yeah.
final game week.
And I think after
Oh,
this, we'll just talk about the mini league, which is like we had some issues that happened, but yeah, we'll talk about that as well.
yeah, it has been settled. It has been settled. Let's say it
It
that
has
way.
been said. That's good. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That is good to
No,
know.
my final game week, I got 48 points, which was not great. A game week rank of around 5 million. A slight drop in rank. Not the major one, like I say. So I ended the season in around 900,000. 900,000. That was my overall rank. In the context of my FPL history, this was my 10th season in FPL, which is
Oh
huge. Yeah,
wow, ten
this
is
was my
huge.
10th
Yeah,
season.
that's not a.
Yeah, that was my 10th season, and
That's-
it was my second worst season as well. My
okay.
second worst season. My worst season was finishing outside the 1 million. I only finished outside the 1 million one time. That was a few years ago, 5 years ago, something like that, when I had 1.3 million. So
Mhm.
this is now rank second worst season. I think you said at the start that we did not check out or something. I cannot
Yeah.
honestly say I did not, but I at least I hang on and then keep making decisions. Until the end of the season. But I would not say I give my all to the game this season, which for somebody who always push some people to do that, I feel guilty about that this season. Definitely, I do. Not competing until the end. I would
Yeah.
say I competed until the end, but maybe I did not do it as seriously as I should. So yeah.
But it's tough, man. It's been tough because this season has been very frustrating. That which is, I think, for me, that's how I'll like. Before we get there, that's how like I'll describe the season in my own,
Mhm.
like my own words. It was a bit difficult, basically. But yeah, at least you stayed on. You clung on to the end there. You didn't just totally let your team just continue falling, which is good. So you
Yeah.
saw the season through. For me, let me quickly share my. It was just dropped there. Yeah, I don't know what's
Okay.
going on with that. Yeah, so 53 points. Oh, It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 53 points, 3.3 game week rank, and I ended the season with about 270. I mean, yeah, I can't really complain, because I spent majority of the season just in that middle place, like between 600 and 500. I was just going up and down. It was very, very frustrating for me. I couldn't really
Yeah.
move up like I wanted to, because almost at some point, almost everybody had the same template team, which we'll talk about later on.
Mhm.
But yeah, 53 points, not bad. It's not one of my best, obviously, seasons, but it's also not one of my worst anyway. So for me, I'll take it. I'll take
Mhm.
it, honestly. Let me just quickly share the Jula Football Banter about the final table. It was fun.
Yeah, it was
I think
fun. And let's
I think
clarify ourselves.
yeah. Let me just start from 10th. From 10th is Olabode Olakulehin, Namham Siaga. Siaga. Oh yeah, whatever you pronounce that. In 10th, so you just moved up to 10th. Total of 2,497.
Uh-huh.
AA, AJ, also in ninth with 2,498. You see, it's very marginal. In eighth is Flex Gasms, uh, 2,499. Then Control Alt Delete. This name has been there for a
In,
while.
in and around,
Patin
yeah.
Meru. Yeah, it's been there for around maybe the top 10, top 20, in seventh is two with 2,507 points.
Mhm.
Sixth, so you see all these three, I think they kind of like there was no movement in the last game week. So basically they finished how they finished. It's
Mhm.
just the last from 10, 9, 8 that actually moved up into top 10. Um in sixth is Andrew Henning, again another top 10 finish for our guy.
Mhm.
Doing it big.
Yeah, pretty
He did a,
consistent guy.
he had a really last few game weeks have been really good for
Post,
him. So
yeah.
he just flew into the top, into our radar basically. With a total of 2,523 points. In fifth is Thomas Bright, also another name that we are familiar with.
Mhm.
2,545 points. In fourth, Stone Jones United, 2,548. Modojala, he was the one that was like one
Yeah,
for
leading,
for a while,
leading at
right?
some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. On Stin SC. You know, tough luck, like holding it down for so long and then just
Mhm.
dropped off in the last few game weeks. So 2,582. And oh wow, him and Hani Mukhtar, they
Level
are
second.
level on points. So you can see we have
Guy second.
a tie second basically. So 2,582 as well. And then the flying winner who just not came in per se, but just took top spot the last few game weeks, I think last 2 or 3 game weeks. Dr. Humanity with 2,590
Mhm.
points. So, Jama, you can explain there was some mix up. We thought because he changed his name, we didn't know that. We thought he was somebody who was
Yeah,
new and
yeah,
entered the
yeah.
mini league at later stages, but that wasn't the case. So,
Yeah, it was interesting. We had a conversation, me and him. He came in. I say, I won the Kotu Classic mini league, and I said, you didn't you join the league late? And then he was like, do you have proof to show me that I joined the league late and something like that? I say, yeah,
yeah.
because this name and the name that we had before, they are completely
Mm,
different, and we have not seen this name in the league. And
yeah.
the time it came into the league, it kind of came in
It
still, and
just
then
came in second. Yeah, that's how we look like.
second,
It
and
just
there
looked
was
like,
no movement. There was no
yeah,
movement
yeah,
up and
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Then he tell me, no, I changed the name, the team name.
Hmm.
So of course, I have to do justice to that. So what I did, I went back to our previous episodes because we
Hmm.
usually talk about the league table,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then
definitely.
he
Yeah.
told me this particular week I was here and this was the name that I used.
Okay,
So
okay,
then I
okay.
tell you the two names, and then I go back to his team and then scroll back down to a particular game week, just random game week, let's say game week
Hmm.
20, and
To
then
see where
come
he
and
was. Yeah.
just see the points tally, and then if the
Hmm.
points tally with the league table. So yeah, it was confirmed that it was him, and then I did that for 1 or 2 or 3 different game weeks, and it was the same number of
Okay.
points.
Yeah. Then
So you
was
cannot so you
that's
cannot
fair.
have all those coincidence happen together.
No,
So
no, no. Yeah.
yeah, he was a valid winner. He was there since the beginning, and yeah,
Ah,
congratulations to him.
what an
Yeah,
ending, man! What a
yeah.
ending! It's ridiculous. Just out of nowhere, and he just
and
He
then
must
come
he
in.
must have he must have done like really well in the last like I don't know 5 6 game weeks to just make up all that ground, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but congrats to him, you know, for
congratulations,
being
yeah,
the winner.
big time.
It was a tough season. Even us, like honestly, both of us can't even get into the top top 20. I
Yeah,
think I
where
came
did you
close.
finish,
I
by
don't
the way?
know.
What was your final ranking?
Let me see.
I have
Uh,
57. 57
21.
because 21, not bad.
21,
Not
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I
You
mean, I
almost got
can't even
there.
get in the top 20, man. You know, it's ridiculous. But yeah, just goes to show like each and every year it gets tougher and tougher to even make it to the top 10. So yeah, so congrats to anyone that is in the top 20, you can say, because it was really tough this season.
Yeah, and of course we have a prize for the winner.
Hmm.
And we will, of course, we will try and find a way to get them the prize
To get
because
it to them, yeah.
we got some autographs at the start of the season. When Minte came in here, he signed some photos. Now he's a Premier League player, so I think those kind of autographs, they serve as good memorabilia and stuff. So we will give it away, and of course we have the Kotu Classic um, shirts to give away. So we will find a way to get it to the winner. He is from Sierra Leone again, last season's winner and runner
Oh,
of
from
last.
Sierra.
We are from Sierra
Wow.
Leone. Is Sierra Leone becoming the,
I mean, the FPL country now. I mean, like Egypt.
yeah,
Egypt is also a big FPL
yeah.
country. Like I'm
It's
aware,
huge. And
Egypt, Algeria,
Norway,
yeah.
Norway was the country
Nobi,
that was
yes,
talked about
yes, yes,
the big
definitely. Who
country.
won it
But
this year? Actually, who won it this year?
is it from Norway? I'm not
I'm not
sure.
sure. I saw the post come up when the game week ended, but I can't
Like,
really remember.
it might be Norway.
Glanced it.
It might be Norway.
I just glanced it,
I will just open my league table here on my phone.
yeah.
And,
You can check it and see. It's
it must be
interesting,
from
but
Norway.
yeah,
Uh,
those
yeah.
countries are very competent. It's usually not Africa and either like
Yeah, one Africa. Of course,
Europe.
we had an African win it one time in the past. That was a
It's like two,
Tanzanian.
3 years. Oh, Tanzania. Okay.
Tanzanian guy won it that season. He has never, he something I did not like about that because every other winner that won the FPL in the past, he become a big name in the community
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that.
Oh, I see.
But
I see what you mean. Yeah,
but
they
since
invite them to talks and all these
yeah,
things.
all these kind of things, but he is not getting that kind of treatment. Even some people were kind of making his win as a fluke. It happened. Da, 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 da. When I was very active on Twitter, I used to see this kind of reaction. So that is
Kind
something
of
I'm not happy with.
downplay. That's
Down,
not,
down,
yeah. You can't really do
downplaying it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
downplaying his championship and all those kind of things. The winner this season was from Croatia. Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Croatia.
Okay. All
Interesting.
right. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the mini league. Thank you guys all for joining the mini league. That was really impressive that we managed to make it tougher and tougher each and every year with more people joining in. So that's good, goes to show that FPL is getting some eyeballs in there, and we continue to increase the number of managers each and every year, which is good. So let's get down to our season basically. Is there anything else we needed to cover
No,
before
no,
we
no,
get
no.
into
I think we need break. We need a break of the FPL tables now.
Yeah, my other mini leagues, to be honest, were not not that impressive to me. Like, I think the Kotu Classic was the one that I did the best. The other one was just like what, 6 of us in a league. I came second, which is we can't even say much about that. But yeah, um, season recap: the good, the bad, the painful. You can call it that. So how did your season go overall? I'm sure this was a difficult one for you. Well, you explain it in as few words as possible. Like, how did it go for
Yeah.
you?
Like obviously not not great, but if you look at it in bits and pieces, let's say the start, which is usually something that that's very important to me, how you start the season in
Yeah.
FPL. Even though not necessarily you can lose the season, but it's important to be in the pack at least at that time. I think I started the season quite well. Other than not starting with Salah in my team, that was kind of disappointing in a way. Not trusting him at the start of the season, but overall I still had a good decent start to the season. I was at a place where I would be happy with any season. I think in the middle stage of the season I did not do so well there. And then if you look at what surrounds the season, what surrounds the game, is how to use your chips, when to play your wildcards, those kind of decisions, making those decisions. Overall, I was not really happy with the decisions that I made. I've never been happy with my chips overall, but often I'm happy with the way I use my wildcard because it comes with the long-term planning. The planning aspect of my game in this season was not also great, in my opinion. Uh, uh, yeah, I just feel it was a very disappointing season for what I want to do in FPL. But I don't think I give the game what it deserves in terms of the time it deserves to get there. Because
Mhm.
if you want to win in this game, definitely need to. Of course, people can do it, by just having a strong team from the start and then uh, doing well. But overall, this game comes with planning. This game comes with making, crucial decisions at crucial stages of the season. And that planning aspect, I think I did not do it so well this year. So I'm disappointed with my season being my second worst season in FPL after 10 years. At least I think I have a bit of experience in the game now. So to get the second worst season was not something I'm happy with. Yeah. So in the last 2 3 seasons, it has not been great for me. Last 2 3. Since I got that one big finish, now it's
Oh, the
looking
big
like
finish,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that one is looking like a fluke.
Yeah.
That seems like a fluke because after that I've not followed it up with a good season. So in a way where you have to do the captaincy planning and all those things, I miss those days. To be honest, I don't know if I can.
I think you need to get back. It's I think FPL in
Yeah,
a way is like how much time you put into it. Sometimes it's luck. Honestly, sometimes
yeah.
it's
Of course,
luck.
luck is part
Or
of it.
sometimes it's like the more effort and resources you put into it, like you get the results. Because sometimes,
Mhm.
like most of these people that do content, FPL content online, I was like, because they all started off really badly, and then all of a sudden the top
Yeah,
10,000. I
in
was
there.
like, I'm wondering, like, what did they do differently from us? You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like, but yeah, it is what it is. So, um,
Needs time. Needs time.
yeah, for me, this one has been like an average season. You know,
Mhm.
it's like at some point I kind of lost motivation in a way, but even because I was frustrated. So basically, you can see frustration kind of like makes up for what I can call this season. That's my one word to describe the FPL season is
Mhm.
forgettable and frustrating because I try to change things to make to be a bit different, but at some point almost everybody had the same type of players. I think because the top players, the premiums you can call them, they didn't really have a good season this season. They started off well, but then they tail up, and then the mid players or the ones that are emerging, everybody had them at a particular point, and then you see the fixtures. People are targeting the team, the
Mhm.
template based on the fixtures and the chips and double game mix and all these stuff. The way the schedule of the fixtures basically people table the team according to that, and then it was a bit difficult to be different. So that was the thing. So it was difficult to gain rank for me. So yeah. Um, I think you already mentioned this. General thoughts on how this season felt compared to previous seasons. So you said that what was your main thing, basically, the difference of this season compared to other seasons? Is it maybe for you? Is maybe like the challenge? You didn't feel like it was as challenging as other
Mm.
seasons where you were dialed in, or maybe you tried one or two times and then it's like okay, I just give up.
Yeah. I because I also play, maybe I should not say this, but I also play in leagues where there's something on the line. Like there's a money league I'm
Mm,
playing, which is
mm.
he there's huge money on the line there. So at least that always gives you that kind of
Yeah, the
motivation,
motivation.
motivate
Yeah,
you
definitely.
to keep going, right? And I was in and around that all the time, getting close to the park all the time. So I did not lack the motivation. I don't. The motivation I had it. I had the motivation to win. I had the
Hmm.
motivation to win, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I had too much going on, and then I could not do it. But I had the motivation in me that I want to win. So because I think this is the first season ever in my FP, like since I started playing FPL, and this is not an
Hmm.
understatement. This is the first season ever where I forget to change something in the game. Like I forget to
Yeah,
change,
which is a bit.
which is weird for me, right?
Yeah,
That
it
is,
used to be a bit for you. Yeah.
and that when that happens, I'm so disappointed in myself. To be honest, this is how I feel. I'm so disappointed. How can I forget? because when somebody forgets things like that, I
Means that you're
cannot
not thinking about
understand.
it too much. Basically, it's
Yeah,
like yeah,
yeah. So I don't know, but the motivation was
distraction
there.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, the motivation was there. But again, this was a year that I forget a lot of things, and maybe being a dad
Maybe
has,
as
has
changed. Yeah, I'm sure is that you don't get
yeah,
that much time
I missed
anymore.
two
Yeah,
sessions of
that's it.
coaching. I missed
That's
two
the
sessions
thing.
of coaching because like
Yeah,
now I have to do everything on my schedule. Always have to
yeah.
check the schedule.
Hmm.
I have to do this. I don't know, but something has changed. Something
It's
has
just. I think
changed.
it's the time management and also the priorities. Your priorities have changed. FPL before, when you were single, you don't have anything to think about. It's yourself, and
Yeah,
so much free time to decide. Oh, I have to do this. And then even before when I was in Japan, honestly, the same thing. I was like, okay, when I have okay now. I'll just start jotting down, players and transfers. Okay, this guy is good. This guy is looking good. When I watch the game, okay, let me put him down as one of my partners. You have all the time to discuss, to brainstorm, to come up with differential
it
picks,
was
but
fun,
now
right?
it's just like fire up to see, oh, which one should I transfer out today? Oh, this guy looks nice.
Yeah,
You don't have much thought. The good thing is that we have so much FPL content online that even if you're feeling behind, you can just go and watch and take inspiration. For me, I barely like do transfers like based on, I guess, gives me an insight as a breakdown as to which players I should be looking forward to, and then I can actually make up my mind towards that. It's not
yeah.
like, oh, you go to this FPL content creator and say, okay, this guy is saying this, okay, let me bring this guy in. No, I'm just like, okay, yeah, okay, that's an interesting thing, and then
Yeah.
you finally make your decision. But we are lucky that we have all these people making content that you can go and get
Just yeah,
a short version breakdown of what you need to consider in this game
yeah.
week. If
But it's
not, it would
still,
have been
but it's
would have
different
been
when you do it
difficult.
for yourself, right? It's
It's
really
different,
different.
yeah. It's different,
Yeah,
yeah. It's more rewarding, obviously,
because if you,
So
if you get it from somebody, like it is always in the line of thinking of that
of
person.
that person, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, but if you get it in the broader view and then try to take your but yeah, let's hope that we can. I can
You
adjust.
can regain, yeah. Just
Yeah, I'm desperate to do that. I don't know how, but I'm desperate to.
I think
Uh,
it's that. I think once you get your scheduling
mhm,
perfect, okay, the kids, this is the time, they have their schedule. This is that, and then you actually carve out your own personal time,
mhm.
where you can actually relax, and then you can actually have time to, or you can even set up a reminder, especially for transfers,
Yeah,
set up
make it
like a two, three,
make
four
your
hour
trans.
reminder, multiple times, to remind you, okay, I need to make a transfer. Because some of these things sometimes it, especially when you have multiple games, the timing is not the best.
Yeah,
The timing is not the best. I'm surprised I haven't missed I didn't miss a transfer deadline this whole season, which is surprising. Funnily enough, I didn't make a transfer the last game week. I didn't need to. But
you
yeah,
know. How about you?
uh,
Talk to
what?
me?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Like I said, I did my best to try to get transfers in as much as possible. Um, yeah, I think the one thing I was going to discuss, like, what kind of team do you think people had? Like, um, the ones that did well, did they have a different team than the average? Like, is it like based on variance? Is it like a lock heavy team? Because for me, I feel like the team was just most of the teams this season was just template. Everybody had the same players,
Hmm.
especially after the middle of the like around game 2019 or so, when all these double gaming planning started coming into perspective. Like people had to, we almost all had the same players.
Hmm.
So maybe you can say variance was a bit like, okay, who you captain like was between this person and this person, and you decide to go with the other one, and then the people that then with the other option like came out on top. That's my issue. I think we all had the same players because there were so many of the big players were so poor. The Haaland didn't show up apart from the beginning of the season. So
Yeah.
we only had Salah and a few select like Mboma and Isaac. Everybody
Mhm.
had the same players. So
Mhm.
how did you feel like the template was this season? The ones that did well, what was it based
Yeah,
on?
I think the template is often very strong. Like it's often is quite strong. Like if you look back to next last season, Haaland, everybody, if you don't have him, you are doomed.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then you can like almost every single time we have this kind of thing. So I think the biggest I think I mentioned this before. Simon Match, he was also an FPL champion in the past. He
Mhm.
mentioned this. He said the biggest differential is consistency in the game.
Consistency, yeah, that's
Just
true.
consistent. If you can find that consistency, regardless of the template sticking,
Mhm.
eventually the template is gonna stick at some point in the season, right? Like you say, at the start of the season, we are varied, right? I don't know. You started with
Yeah.
Salah. I did not start with
I, I,
Salah.
I I didn't start with Salah. I don't think I had it in my
Started with
team.
Salah,
First five game weeks or so, I didn't have
I
it in my
started.
team.
I started with Mbemo. You did not start with Mbemo, right?
Yeah.
If I remember well, and so at the start of the season, there is a lot of options based on what happened in the past. So that's why the start of the season is quite important, in my opinion. And then once templates start to emerge, at
Mhm.
least you are in a good position. And now you have to just keep up that consistency. It's boring, to be honest. It's very boring. You have to keep
Yeah.
up with that consistency and have small gains
Yeah.
here and there, and then you keep
Yeah.
going. To be honest, this is how it felt when I got that 1,000 or something. This is how it felt that season. Of course, I was enjoying because I'm at the top. But then and there was at some point I feel I have the same thing with people who are in
Yeah,
500,000,
everybody. Yeah.
600,000.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
game, you are just gaining small gains here and there. And then if you have the opportunity to get a big score from a differential or something like that, you get it. So I don't think if template is a problem for you, then I think it's gonna be a problem almost every single season. But if you can change to understand that the template will emerge every single time, and then you just have to be consistent against the template, even if you have the same points as somebody getting 100,000 or 200,000, but the same team you have, but you are consistently approaching the template, the good team, because
Maybe I think
template means good team, right? Template means good team,
yeah,
right?
I think for me, what I'm trying to say is maybe the fun of FPL for me is when I can actually come up with one or three, four, like about 3 or 4 differential picks that people don't have, and
Yeah,
when I pick them, they actually make a difference. You know what I mean? That's what I
yeah.
enjoy. I enjoy
Those
actually
things,
bringing in new
those things,
transfers.
those things
That's
don't
my
happen
thing.
now. Those things don't happen
Well,
now. Maybe it's the number two. The number of people playing the game too. It has
I
increased
think it's
significantly,
it's
right?
possible. It's possible. It's
So
possible too. I think because of
and
the
and the
number now.
content,
Now the
and like
template,
I
yeah,
say, the content will
the content. Thank you,
the
everybody.
content
Yeah, yeah.
will dictate
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we go to.
That's true. That's true. That's very because more people playing more now. That means
Mhm.
more people have more information. That means we're getting. Before we used to get to the template at the end of the season or after
Yeah,
the second half
but
of the
it's
season.
earlier
Now,
now. It's
now
coming
it's
earlier.
coming. It's coming. It's coming closer now. It's coming
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
more like in the first half of the season, basically.
yeah.
So next season, who knows? It's probably between game 5, 6. Everybody has the same players, and then it's all about consistency. Then, so but yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. So I think this one is more straightforward questions. Who are the top 5 scorers? Actually, who are the top 5 scorers in the game? That's what I was trying to check.
The top five is Salah number
Salah
one.
obviously is number one.
M-
Momo.
Bomo is there. Um,
Who
uh,
else?
I think
Palmer.
Wood.
Palmer is
Palmer,
Palmer
Palmer,
is
Palmer is there. Palmer is
Palmer
number
is
three. Yeah.
number
Palmer is
three.
number three.
Yeah,
And then
and
is he not Wood?
then Isaac is number 4 with 211, and then Wood is number 5.
Number
I think
five. Yeah, yeah,
with
that's
200 points.
yeah.
So, which ones did you get? Obviously, everybody got Salah. I'm sure you got Salah too. For
Uh,
majority
I,
of the
I,
season, basically.
yeah, I got Salah late, to be honest. Even though it was 3 game weeks after, I feel I got him late.
Mm.
If you started with him, maybe it was, but maybe you would not have gone to Haaland. But I think everyone would have gone to Haaland last season.
I think Haaland, Man City had the better fixtures in the first 3 or 4 game weeks. That's why
Yeah, yeah. That's why we
we were
didn't
like,
go for
okay,
Salah because there was the
exactly.
Man United fixture. There was
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's
two
just
away
yeah. So
fixtures.
Haaland did well. Obviously, remember that like we were talking about this before we started the hat tricks, 2 back-to-back hat tricks. So yeah,
Yeah, Wood I
I
got
think
late.
I had all these players at some point in the season. Isak I had for most of the season, especially when he came on form. Wood I
Yeah,
just had that last few game weeks of the
yeah. I want to
season,
say
basically.
I want to say I had Wood and Rogers. These are players that I
Oh,
definitely
that's my player of the season. I think we'll talk about
then
that.
yeah for me
That's my player of the season. Yeah,
those
yeah.
two players, of course, and Bowen, we always on oversight Bowen.
Yeah, Bowen is. I think
Like
Bowen. People that had Bowen actually were ticking along nicely,
yeah,
because West Ham were not. West Ham had a poor season, but he was
yeah,
consistent.
especially
Yeah,
the second half of the season. And we don't get
an
the
oversight.
respect.
Yeah.
He never gets the respect he deserves. Almost every
Yep.
single season,
He's very consistent.
he's very
Yeah,
consistent when it comes to
yeah,
points. He's the
yeah.
main point getter at West Ham, but we don't. He's sixth in the
For
scoring.
some reason, I don't know why especially me, I'm surprised. I always like.
I would own him this season. To be honest, I have not owned
I haven't
Bowen
too. I haven't
throughout the
too. Yeah.
season. Just
I
maybe
have
because it
as
was
well.
how poor West Ham were, and you forget, okay, there was this player who can do really well. Yeah.
It's
So
interesting, but yeah.
mhm.
Um, so who carried your team for the longest stretch? Like who was the one that your team was?
The start of the season it was Mbeumo, definitely, and I
Oh,
think
Mbemo.
selling him was one of my worst decisions of the season. I think there was a time that
Oh,
they had a blank
easy
game week, or
fixture.
there was a
Oh, okay,
fixture,
okay.
and then I say, okay, I'm done with him. I will bring him back, and then he continued doing well against the bigger boys. He
That's the
never
thing.
stopped. He never
That is
stopped doing well.
more. That's moment
Yeah,
for you. For
exactly.
some reason, like I think I clocked this afterwards when I sold him the first time because I had him and I sold him and I brought him back again and then he
Mhm.
stayed along. He stayed I think until the end of the season. I think.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Momo. Whenever he's playing all these small teams, I don't know why. Maybe it's a low blow. I don't even think what but I think he's more of like a counter-attacking type of player, especially Brentford.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah,
they play
yeah.
again, when they play against teams that are in the same like position as them, it's like more of an open game, and he doesn't do as well. Once he's playing the top six and all these difficult games, when you think, oh, let me transfer him out, and the next thing you know, he's getting double digit horse, and you're wondering, what did I do?
Yeah, yeah.
It's on a
So
few.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was him. It was him. And you just mentioned him. I would just add a little thing about my boy Minte. He
Minte,
is in
okay,
the
yeah.
similar mode. When I did the analysis of his season, was 5 games, 6 goals he scored in the Premier League, right? Five was against the so-called big teams, including Newcastle. He scored United, Chelsea 2, Tottenham, Newcastle, and like 5 goals. Yeah, Chelsea 2, Man United, Tottenham, and Newcastle. And then the other one, the only team he scored who was outside the so-called big six was
Mhm.
against Leicester City.
So
So
he relished the big
against the big
boys.
boys, he really do well. But when it comes to the smaller team, he was not doing well. So that's why, yeah, that's the area that he needs to improve next season. He left his mark. Again, that's why Man United are talking about him, right? Because he left a mark at United, Chelsea, and all these big boys,
Mhm.
Tottenham. But against the smaller team, he was not replicating that. And that is similar to what you are talking about. When the
Yeah.
team is, gonna dominate Brentford, what happens is there's space behind because you play high line.
Oh, that makes
And then
sense.
these
Yeah, for
players
him to
are very
attack.
good when it
Yeah.
comes to counter-attacking play.
So
They are
it's like
fast.
they're more suited to transition football, I think,
Transition,
Brentford. So
exactly, absolutely. Minte is absolutely suited to transition, and but Moemo, he has different facets. He's very
yeah, he
technical
does,
too.
he does, he
He
does.
has
You talk
different
about you
facets.
talk about, we talk about him in a transfer, so it's
Yeah,
some big news going on. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. So for me, he was my best player, but he was also my one of my worst decisions in the season. Sometimes you want to keep some of these players throughout the season, through thick and thin. If it is hard, you keep them. If it is, Mbeumo is one of those players that once you make
that
a
you should
decision to
keep.
get
Yeah,
him,
you should keep him. Yeah.
just stick to him. If it is one or two difficult games coming, if Brentford are gonna score or they get a penalty, it's Mbeumo who's gonna take it. And
Mhm.
that was a mistake that I think it cost me this season. But I would say he was one of my carriers, and of course, eventually the second half of the season is Salah, and I got Mbeumo going, and then when I got Wisa, Isak, but they were all template players at that time. So even though they were giving you consistent points, they were not making the difference for you. Mbeumo in the
Mhm.
first half of the season was making difference for me because at the start of the season, I wish I remember what was his percentage ownership. It was quite low, because his price was a little bit hiked up at the start
Mhm.
of the season, and people were not willing to get there for that amount of price that he started the season with. And Brentford did not start the season with great fixtures. If you look at the
Yeah, they
uh,
had I think for the first four of something fixture. I remember first four
exactly,
fixtures was a bit tough for them.
yeah, the first 5 fixtures they had to play Liverpool, they had to play Manchester City, they had to play Tottenham
Mhm.
away, they had to go
Mhm.
all away in all these fixtures. But I was holding him during that period until I think when they played against United. That's when I decided game week 7, game week 8. I decided to get rid of him, and then that's when he started getting the 15 pointers, and then the 8 pointers, consistent points. Before I could get him back, opportunity to get him back, it didn't. But at the start, he was my difference maker, definitely. If I have to choose one this season, first half of the season it was him. The second half of the season, I cannot really tell any player who was a difference maker in my team. Like that also did not help my season. How about you? Which players made a
I
difference?
mean, you know me, the way I start FPL is a bit strange. Like I just try to get the template team until the first four fixtures are out of the way, and then I can actually wild card and then try to get my actual team that I feel like, okay, this is the team that I feel like is going to move ahead. So I didn't really have anybody that's different. I think I have Jota. Um, I started with him, game week one. Um, game week two, he was on yeah, okay, he still played. So I can say he was the one at the first few game weeks. I think he probably did well. The rest of them, to be honest, Isak has been in my team for a while. Actually, I just realized that he's been in my team for since game week one.
Mhm.
so so yeah, I think Isak has been a mainstay. He's one of the key players. But then at some point, people got to Isak, and almost everybody had them in
Mhm. But I don't hate
the
that. I don't
minimums.
dislike that. Like because if
If I'm
everybody's
there before, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
they
I
are,
was there before
everybody's coming to
everybody
you.
else. Yeah.
What is
Yep.
mean is like my
Yeah.
player is doing really well. That's why
Yeah,
everybody is
yeah,
coming
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I agree. I agree. So he was like one of the guys that I picked out. Like this guy, because I think didn't they have a strong season end of the season last season? I think they did.
Newcastle.
Newcastle. I think they
No,
did.
they were good. And Isaac, he has been very consistent. The only problem you will look at Isaac
It's the injury.
is the
Yeah,
injury. But as long as
injuries.
he's
Yeah,
available,
yeah,
like he was one of the best players in
yeah,
the league, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So obviously, beginning of the season, I think it was Isak Jota that I was like, okay, maybe Saka also, but almost everybody had Saka. Obviously, Saka. you know. But the differential hero for me for the whole season has been Rogers.
Okay.
Since he came into my team, I don't
Mhm.
think I ever took him out. As in, that was like, yeah, this guy, he will give you points, consistent points. And like you said, this game is all about consistency. So he's been very consistent for me.
Mhm.
And next season, I'm sure his price is going to go up.
You're
Like
gonna hype
there's
him,
no
of
two
course.
ways
Why not?
about it.
Why not? Why not?
So hopefully we find other differential picks that would
Yeah, you have to find every season. It has to be a
you
different player,
find a new one. Yeah,
which
find
is
a new
good,
one.
right? Because that is the
Yeah.
fun. We try to find who is that differential.
Yeah, differential pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you need a few over the course of the season. Just having
yeah.
one,
I mean, just get there. Yeah,
Mhm.
just keep on ticking. So, who's your biggest letdown of the season?
That will have to be Poro, Pedro
Oh,
Poro.
Pedro Poro. Oh, wow. Okay.
Pedro Poro. I stuck with Pedro Poro, I think, throughout the first half of the season. And Tottenham
Mm,
were absolutely rubbish, I would say.
yeah. But they
And
started off well. Did they batter
no,
Man
no,
City? They did well in
he
beginning of
scored in the
season.
first.
They
Yeah, yeah, he scored in the
battered
first
us
game.
3-0 at
Pedro Poro give me
Old
a goal in
Trafford.
the first game.
Yeah, they did
But then
well. I
after that,
remember.
I stuck with him for far too
Oh,
long.
for too long. Okay, I
And
see.
then there was
Okay.
nothing come. The other player that I would say is uh but this one it was a was not only me. I think it was a general
I
one.
think Poro. We all had Poro. Yeah.
Cole Palmer, even though he's in the top 5 point
Cool, Palmer.
scorers,
He
there
had
was a
a
period,
good first. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
that period when those who stick with him, it would have been bad for them, and those who let him go, that particular period, would have been a good because he started the season well, gives you
Very well.
point,
Yeah,
and then around the mid stage of the season,
that's when he dropped off,
he dropped off
and
significantly,
then didn't do
and then
anything
he
until
never did it.
like
Yeah, and
10
then
weeks.
somebody like me, I
Yeah.
really stuck to him because I kind of trusted that he would just turn this corner
Mhm.
around here or there. But it never really happened. So if I have to say my letdowns of the season, it has to be those two players. The Tottenham defender, Pedro Porro, because Tottenham did not keep any clean sheet. Any whatsoever. Oh, I forget the one. I forget the one. That one you will even know. Aston Villa. I don't even need to tell you the name. Aston Villa defender. I don't even need to say the name.
Oh, Dean, Lucas Dean.
Of course, of course, of course, of course.
Lucas
Whenever
Dean,
I
yeah.
play him, he has been in my team throughout the season, all
Yeah.
throughout the season. He has not left my team, and he don't. When I bench him, he delivers. When I start him, or when he come back from international, everybody's talking about Lucas Dean. This is his game. He gets a red card or scores an own goal, and I was always on the wrong side of Lucas Dean this season. Yeah,
So he's the player you kept for too long and hoping
yeah,
that they'd come good. So him and Palmer. For me, I think it was Haaland.
yeah.
Because for some reason, people, when somebody is the highest price player in the game, it's like obviously they deserve for you to give them a chance. But nobody saw this Man City downfall, like not a downfall per se, but this season because they started off really well. Haaland had 2 hat-tricks back to back, and then all of a sudden they started, losing games and stuff like that. I think, and a lot of people, I don't know how they saw this, but some people like really made the bold decision and transferred him out. Because I think let me see if I can probably, yeah, game week 5 he had 18 points, right?
Yeah.
Game week 6 he had 2 points. Game week 7 2 points. Game week 8 2 points. So you can see where he's going. At some point, I think after about a few games, like a lot of people started taking them. Not a lot of people, but like the more dialed in people that wanted to take a risk actually transferred him out.
When
And
did
they
you get
haven't been.
when did you get rid of him? When?
I don't. Let me see. He was there for a while. He's there. Game week 9. At least he got 6 points in that game week.
Mhm.
Game week 10. He's there. 11. Still there. So I just kept them. Game week 12.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got rid of him early. I think
I
9.
think I think 12. 12 is when I took him out, basically. So 12, I
Yeah,
took him out
I
12.
did
So
3 games earlier than
I
that.
was. I think it was because people already transferred in. That's the time when people transferred him out and brought Palmer in. Palmer was having a good season. I mean, a good few game weeks at that point.
Start exactly.
Yeah. So I remember that most people went there earlier than the rest of us, and then we just came. I was lucky enough to get a Palmer 14 pointer anyway, so that's good for me.
Yeah.
So key decisions and strategic calls. So your best decision of the season, if you can remember, captaincy, punt, early transfer that paid off, chip timing. Which one can you say is like your best decision for?
I'm gonna say my chips were good. It would have been the triple captain, but because of the week, you remember when I played the triple captain, that was when everybody was playing their assistant manager chip.
Assistant manager chip, yeah.
So I got 87 points from my triple captain. That's the best I ever had. 29 points Salah got over those double game weeks.
Yeah.
29 points, but 29, like, then you have 87 points just from one player. So on any triple captaincy call, I think everybody will be happy with that amount of points, right? 29.
Mm-hmm.
But because the assistant manager tip was a hot cake in that particular game week, I did not use my assistant manager chip. I used it in the subsequent game week, which the assistant manager chip was a bad decision. I think it cost my season, because if I had the assistant manager chip spot on, then I would have been, close. At least I would have been in and around a very good position where I can push on to finish high in the season. So
I think you were kind of disappointed because if there was no assistant assistant manager chip, then I think you probably would have made more gains at the time.
But the decision was not good because of the assistant manager chip.
Yeah.
Because of the assistant manager chip. Because at the end of the day, I still got more points than anybody who did the triple captain. Just comparing my triple captain and your triple captain, or my triple captain and any other triple captain, I would have done better.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But because the game is not about one decision, right? It's about all the decisions coming together, and then you getting the best out of those decisions at some level. Give and take. It's give and take every single time. But then what I had to give away for the triple captain in that particular week was not worth it. So it's the best decision in terms of points tally, but it cost my season because of the assistant manager. Because how many points did you get from your assistant manager keep?
I mean that I think that's the best strategy that I've actually used in this season. That was my best play because I played my assistant captaincy in game week 24, 25, 26.
Yeah.
I got 120 points.
In 25. Yeah.
120 points. I have 90. And I have 81 points. Yeah. So all these 3 game weeks, 120, 90, and 81 points. I mean, even though the average points was high, like in game week 24, it was 87, but still, like, it's almost how many points now, I mean, I couldn't complain. I made the right move. I think it was between two managers. It was Emre and I think Glasner. I actually went with Glasner, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was good. It's just the last one, 26, that wasn't as high, but 24, 25, yeah, it was definitely the right play, and it was good.
So I think my best decision would have to be I'll go back to Bemo. Starting with Bemo in my team because of the way people were starting. That's how underwhelming my season has been. Because I cannot recall any other good decision. Strongly, like something that makes me feel so proud. Those kind of decisions, I cannot remember having them. So I will lean towards the team I start with this season. I think I was happy with that start. But other than Salah, I think all the picks that I had at the start of the season was something was a good one. Yeah, was a good one. But I started the season well.
So what was your chip strategy like? When did you play your first wild card? And let's see if there was any difference between yours and mine.
Yeah, my chip strategy. Let me go there. Where do I have it? Yeah, it's here. Oh, the bench boost. The wild card. The first wild card I played it pretty early. But I'm
Same,
lost.
yeah, same.
I played it pretty early. Go ahead with yours first. Then I will find mine. It's here. You
So you
mine.
have it, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so shout out to FPF Premier Fantasy Tools
That's where I have it.
and what's this one called? These are all free. A new PLA.net. I forgot where did I get this site from. But yeah, it's what we use usually to analyze our end of season, FPL game weeks. But yeah, wildcard was first wildcard was game week 6. That was when I was like, this is not working, and I even got worse because I played my wildcard and the average was 50 points. I got 43, so it was like, okay, that's fine. Then the next chip was the assistant manager chip, like I said, 25, 20, 24, 25, 26. So that was good. The second wildcard was 31. This is one of the latest times I've actually wildcarded because I usually like wildcarding around 2021, but as soon as the second wildcard is active because I want to make sure that I actually maximize the wildcard. But this season was a bit weird because we had an extra chip, which is assistant manager chip. So I was like, okay, and I think because of the games as well, we're all waiting for this stretch of games where all the games with double game weeks were coming in. I think that was I'm not really sure when that was. That was around the game week 24. I think when we played assistant manager chip because some of the teams were having double game weeks and stuff like that. So that's why I moved the wildcard to 31. I could have played it even 33, but I was like 31 is like 33 is going to be too late. But it is the game. This triple captain this time around wasn't the best. I think I triple captain Isaac. Couldn't triple captain Salah, but Isaac. First time I triple captain somebody not named Salah or Haaland. So it kind of worked out a bit. With 93 points, game 32. Bench boost game 33. This is one of the worst chips I've ever actually had. Is the one that's giving me nightmares. I've never really maximized it, not that I can remember, but like the last few years, it's been the one that has been the least fun for me to use, basically. And the free hit was game 34. Yeah. So how was yours?
Yeah.
When did you play your chips?
The wild card. The first wild card was played in game week 4. It was very early.
That's early. Yeah, that's really early.
Well, I started the season flying because I think first 3 game weeks I got at least 70 something points in game week. So I was averaging around almost 79 points in the first 3 game weeks. I had I even captain Bomo for a 28 pointer during that period. So I started the season pretty well. The first 3 game weeks was good, which is something to build on. And then I wildcard.
Something you like doing, yeah. You like.
The wildcard did not work out. The first wildcard, I got less than 50 points when I wildcarded in game week 4. That one did not work out. And then I played the assistant manager chip in game week 25 when I wildcard. I triple captain in game week 24 rather, and then played the triple captain, the assistant manager chip the subsequent game week. Because I think there was a window of 3 game weeks where you have a double.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah. So one of the doubles I used them in 24. That's I captain 25. I use my assistant manager chip.
Assistant manager chip,
yeah. And then the other wild card I did not use it until I did not use it until very 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 late in the season. If you look, the second wild card was used in game week 32. And then I bench boost because you like to wild card and bench boost.
And then bench boost right after, yeah.
Yeah, I did that. The bench boost did not go badly. I think this is the in terms of no, it went badly. I got only 61 points from the bench boost, which was not good again. I think I got only like six 6 points from the bench, and then a couple of 0 points. So 12 points from my bench boost. So it was not a good thing. The free hit
Yeah,
after I just use it any week. I think I use it in the final game week, if I'm not wrong. In the final game week of the season.
remember I was complaining. The bench was like, I will tell you, like the previous game weeks before I think okay, bench boost was 33. I triple captain in 32. All
Mhm.
these game weeks from 30 or even 29 until before I bench boost, like my bench points was actually high.
Mhm.
When I played the bench boost, you get like 6 7 points. This
It
game
could
is
be
a
a
troll.
powerful
I mean,
chip, but it could be
this chip
true.
is a very troll type of chip, man. Like
Yeah, it could
very
be
annoying.
very powerful, but it could be very big troll. So the risk and the like I would say the both ends of it, like the risk and the potential reward, they are all huge, because the risk there is you have to plan your team to build for that particular game week, right? So you are giving away points, and if it fails in the event that it fails, then adding that failure to the team you build up for the bench boost, and then try to dismantle that team subsequently. There's a lot of things going. It's not just about the particular game week that you have a disappointment from. For example, I have been building my some of them. You can wildcard before the bench boost, right? And then you
Mhm.
wildcard balance your team for the bench boost. And then once the bench boost is played, you don't need that squad anymore. You only need an 11 strong 11 players for every particular game week. But you have a squad of average players together. So
Mhm.
try to dismantle that and then make it a strong team. It takes 2, 3, 4, 5 game weeks. So the damage is not just the particular game week that the bench boost you played, but what surrounds the bench boost. But again, if it works out like how you want it, and then those players in the double game deliver, which never happens.
It never happens.
Yeah, it never
That's
happens.
the problem. Once you plan for it, it never happens. But the funny thing is, you can be looking at your game week every game week until you play the bench boost, and you'll be having points. Also, okay, once you play it, the points disappear. So it's like,
Yeah.
what's going
So
on?
what is the best way to what is the best way to just get it going?
Get it out of the way. That's my strategy. That's what I was going to discuss like later on. Like that's my
Uh,
strategy that I'm going to try to do, because I kind of feel like it the reward, the risk or reward is very small in my opinion.
yeah,
It's very
yeah,
small for you to plan around it. It doesn't make any sense that you have
yeah,
to disperse of funds and try to make your bench, be respectable, to actually get some points from there. Because you can see that when you start the season, you don't really care about the bench,
yeah,
right? Until you
yeah,
wildcard, then you want to play the bench boost, and then you have to disperse the funds, and then try to, you have to come like have a compromise. Okay, this player is to, but next thing you know, like I don't know, next season I just want to take it out of the way so that I can focus on more important things, which is the bigger chips.
Okay,
So
now taking it out of the way, it comes with its own problems. And I
I don't mind whatever I get from it. It's okay. Even if I have 0 points, it's fine. I just
uh,
don't want to focus on it at all.
no, I absolutely
Go
agree.
ahead. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree. But if you are going to consider it in the first particular game week, you
Mhm.
must, like, you cannot say, okay, my second goalkeeper can be any 4 million goalkeeper. You
I
have
know,
to
I
make
know.
sure
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to make sure it's
Yeah, but
gonna be a
if you
playing
look at
goalkeeper.
it, if you look at it properly, I don't know about you, but the past few seasons, that's how I've been playing the game.
Uh-huh.
Most of the players I have on my bench are actually playing like starting players. So maybe you can say that maybe, but the bottom half of the
No, no,
teams.
no. But
But most of
like,
them are playing starting players basically.
okay,
There's no like a bench fodder that doesn't play, gets 0 points all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no 100% Ben Foiler. But
Mhm.
when the season is starting, okay, everybody's looking for that is
It's a
four
bit
point.
risky. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go
everybody's
ahead.
looking for that 4.0 goalkeeper, a
Mhm.
second goalkeeper, 4.0 goalkeeper, who is playing. And then we
Yeah.
start monitoring the preseason, who's playing
That's true.
minutes
That's
here.
true. Yeah.
So that particular goalkeeper, eventually, he might be a goalkeeper that will start in the season. It can happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
But at that juncture, when you are picking him as a 4 million goalkeeper, like, the expectation is all based on preseason. He's playing for preseason, and preseason, to be honest, is just
You can never tell. Yeah, some
you
people
can
have
you
good
can never tell.
preseason. They don't start the first game. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course, if you have that, it's perfect. And then you look at the other positions, the other three positions that you have to put on the bench.
Hmm.
Okay, you have your squad. Like, you have to think about, this is my bench boost, so I have to take out money from Wemo, or take out money from an Isaac, a 5 million, and then add it to my bench striker. I will not bring a 4.5 million bench striker who will come and play 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Maybe I will push up to a 5.5 million striker on the bench and then push up to a 4.5 million defender here and another 4.5 million defender. And that will mean you have to take money from somebody up there, right?
Okay. I think maybe the best strategy is not just play it and get it out of the way. I'll play it in a gimmick where the team that I have on the bench have favorable fixtures, basically. At least that's fair enough. I'm not just trying to get the chip out of the way, Because sometimes you look at your bench and you see that okay, the fixture is not bad for my bench, bench foders. So I'll see. At least if you monitor it, the first, let's say you can even play it after your first wildcard, because you remember that's how the strategy that we usually go with. You pick from, especially for me, I pick a template team until game week 4 or 5, until I say, okay, this is not working. Maybe some of the players that you have in there, didn't do poorly, or there's some like a change of template elsewhere, and then you play the wildcard, and then you have your good team that you actually want to play the majority of the season with. Then you can actually play the bench boost. Right after.
No, I absolutely. I'm a big fan. I'm now a fan of the bench boost going away early. I'm now a fan. I was not a fan because I thought it was a very powerful team, but I'm a fan now. I'm a fan now. But again, you are talking about the wildcards after playing it before,
right after the wildcard.
Right after the wildcard. But when you wildcard and then now you know the players you want. Oh, these are the good players, right? That does not necessarily mean you're going to balance your team.
True.
Because the bench is not going to be balanced. The bench is there just to complement and then go. Because pick your best 11. Oh, this Mbuemos.
Because you're not planning to bench boost. If you're not planning to bench boost in the first one, that's true. Yeah.
But if you're working,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing that is gonna come out. But I like the idea of doing it early. To be honest, I like the idea of doing it early. Or like another thing you said is like just ignore it, and then whenever you feel your bench is good enough, then you play.
Just play it. Yeah.
Because I don't know how the mind works with that though.
There are a few times like this past season, I was like, hey man, this my bench is having a really good fixture, because you can check and it's like the fixtures are nice, but because in your mind you've programmed yourself that I will not bench boost now until after the wildcard, so you don't play it.
Yeah.
Because I've considered it a few times, but then that's why I was so angry, because I was like, I wanted to play this thing when I wanted to play it. Now that I actually want to play it and I planned for it, and it's giving me this amount of points. So
but for the playing it early too, I think you can do the reverse. For example, me, I don't mind wildcarding in game week 2-3, right? I don't. Honestly, I don't.
If you see the benefit there,
if I see the benefit, I don't mind. So in the first game week, if you build a squad, but still the risk is there, right? The risk of players who is not going to play in the first game week is there.
That you don't know, it's always there. It's very rare that you start with a team and everything is perfect.
And then no way. Is perfect. Yeah. So you play it there, then all of a sudden it's gone. Then if your team is not good enough, just wildcard out and then get to the template team, and then you don't have to think about the bench boost again. You don't have to build around
that might actually give you more money to focus on that starting 11.
On the 11. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's something to think about. It's something to think about. Let me see what else. Tactical trends. Let's see. Was big at the back actually worth it this year? Did you play big at the back? I didn't. I don't remember playing a big at the back at any point in this season.
No, because like, who are the big defenders? Like, we are talking about Trent. He was not an FPL asset like this season.
Not necessarily.
Since for me, I was just sticking with him because of my affiliation. But I don't think he was a good FPL asset. He played a different role. This was his worst creative season because of the role he had in the team. Liverpool were more defensive than in the past. He was more conserved than in the past. And the other players you will see is Pedro Porro. What did Pedro Porro do?
He started off like he was,
And then you look at the Man City, but Arsenal, yes, Gabriel
was injured. Remember, he was injured
he was injured
from game week 6. In the end, he was injured, but in the beginning, he was injured. Like from game week 6 all the way to like
despite
9.
Despite having this bad season, he had the most points as a defender. That tells you there was no points in defense, right? If I'm not wrong. Was there any defender who had more points than him? I don't think so. Defense, let me see.
Vadio.
Yes.
Vadio.
Yeah,
Vadio.
Yeah, Guardiola.
I think he's the only one,
153.
Yeah, that
And
means
what
that means yeah, that means yeah,
153,
defensive points.
153 total is not good. Defensive points was
Yeah,
poor. It was
honestly,
poor this
yeah,
season.
it was poor this season. So there was no big at the back, definitely. I think everything was in midfield this time around, but it's always been in midfield anyway because the Salah is a midfielder. He's not a forward. So it's
Yeah.
very rare that you have the points, most of the points coming from elsewhere. That's not the midfield.
So if you look at the midfielders, let's say starting from Gibbs White, Iwobi, Kulevert, Murphy, Rogers, Semenyo go up to Salah. All these
Mhm.
players have scored more than all the defenders. So defensive
Yeah.
points was like at least 10 midfielders scored more goals, more
Mhm.
points than defender. Even if you look at the strikers, the forwards, you can see that players like
Wood,
Isaac, Wood,
Watkins,
Watkins,
Visa, Haaland,
Wisa, Haaland, Cunha
Cunha,
was a striker,
Mateta.
right? Cunha
Yeah,
was a striker. Cunha, all these players, they had more goals than the defender. So defensive points was, I think,
not
big
this
at the
year.
back. I
Yeah,
think big at the back was like the last time we was really a thing was when you had the trend,
when
the
trend was
Overspin,
definitely.
they were getting
Yeah.
200 plus points,
Hmm.
that season. Nowadays, defenders don't get to that level. So it's difficult
We
to
never know. Maybe the
like,
3-4-3, like Man U, like the formation we play. If it gets more popular in this, FPL, uh, English league always changes. So if that
yeah,
becomes a
yeah,
popular, it
you
becomes a
have to
popular
know.
formation. Next thing you know, you have those fullbacks that are playing as wingers. It becomes a thing. You never know next
Yeah,
season.
yeah. If they are
What might be.
scoring goals, of course. If they are scoring goals and get keeping clean sheets, because
Yeah.
defensive points, of course, you cannot expect them to get attacking returns like the strikers and the midfielders.
Hmm.
That is out of it. So it's always have to be complemented with a lot of clean sheets. Also, clean sheet was not a lot this season. I think the goalkeeper with the Golden Glove this season got 13 clean sheets. 13 clean sheets for the Golden Glove. I can
It's
remember
very
seasons
low. Yeah.
where teams were getting 220, 21,
Hmm.
22 defensive clean
Hmm.
sheets. But 13 was very low. Clean sheets were very low this season.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will come back sometime. I don't know. And then you have to have that attacking fullback who can create score goals as well as his team very good defensively. So to combine all these three things together is very difficult. It's very rare in a season. It's very rare. But you never know. You never know. It can come back.
And the forwards. So, what did you think about Haaland this season in Man City? I mean,
Uh,
because when the price came out, remember the reveal? I was like, "This guy is so expensive." But next thing you know, all of us have him in our teams because Man City fixtures and it's
yeah.
our the fear of missing out last season. Remember, so
Mhm.
you don't wanna miss out on one of the best players that bullied his way, scoring lots of goals last season.
Yeah.
Started off really well this season.
Mhm.
In this season, obviously, but then next thing you know, Man City as a whole just tailed off, and that
Yeah.
was like the end. He scored a few goals, but then not for me. I always look at the price point, price per points, basically.
Mhm.
It's not worth it, and I'm sure his price is going to go down next season. But the problem is by how much.
Mhm. Not
Who's going to be
not much.
in your?
Not much.
They shouldn't bring it that much.
I think 0.5 if it is meant, if it is a lot.
Really, you
0.5
think it's
or
gonna?
what, not more than 1 million. If it is 1 million, I'll be
Ah,
very surprised. I would expect it to be like, because he's 15, right? He started at 15, so I would expect
yeah.
it to be 14.5. Like
So
0.5.
who's going to be the most expensive? He's still going to be the most expensive player. You
Yeah,
think
yeah,
next season?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think maybe him and Salah, maybe they will
Mm.
come and meet at some level, or he will be 15 and Salah 14.5, 14.5 and Salah 14, because of course,
Mm.
like, but again, the way they do things, they can give Salah, that hike to 14.5, both of them to start. Salah has never gotten to the 14 points, right? He
I
only
think it
got
was 12, right? 12.5, something like
14.5. 13.5 was the maximum he started the season with.
that.
Haaland started at 14 and then jumped from 14 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
So 14 was something new for us when Haaland came last season. And don't forget, last season I played the season without Haaland, right? Can you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And that prepared me though. That prepared me for this season. Because when I needed to get rid of him, I was not in
it
hesitant. Like
wasn't.
I
It
got
wasn't. It wasn't difficult. Yeah,
like
for
it
you.
was
Yeah.
easy for me. Yeah, it's just I had a bad season, but for Haaland was never my problem. Like that's why he was not even a disappointment for me, because I got the points when they were right, and then when I had to get rid of him, I did get rid of him. And I always have this opinion on strikers. Strikers points. A goal is four
In the
points.
game, yeah. In the game,
Yeah,
yeah. That's true.
yeah. A goal is 4 points. Defender's clean sheet is a 4 pointer. Yes, this has not happened as often as in the past in terms of clean sheets for defenders. But if a defender keeps 20 clean sheets, and let's say got 10 assists and maybe four goals or something, that is 34 returns. That is kind of comparable to Haaland's seasons where he will get like 35 goals as a striker because he don't get a lot of assists as well. So
Yeah, don't let the goals deceive you. Points are
yeah,
points. That's the thing.
points are points.
It's how
Exactly.
the goal, it's how the game is played. That's the thing. So I think the more you play, the more you realize that, oh, you need to look at more things like clean sheets and assists. Because obviously, if a team
Yeah.
keeps a clean sheet, the
Goal,
midfielder
goal,
gets one
goal
point two.
gives you
So
excitement. Like my player
I
has
mean,
scored.
obviously, it's like, oh, Salah, you have to get him. So
and then
most people. There was
and
a
then
year when one of these guys that won it didn't have Salah for a stretch of the season. I was like,
yeah, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
so you can do that?
Actually,
Yeah.
somebody won it. I think the season Liverpool won the league. Was it? No, no, no. That was not the season Liverpool won the league. There was a season. This guy played the whole season without a Liverpool player, and that season there was Salah. That was the season that
Mm-hmm.
Salah got the crazy points,
Mm-hmm.
the crazy number of points. That was the
So
season
you
that
can
Salah got.
imagine that. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's switch gears for a bit and go to fan corner.
We are not yet done.
Oh yeah,
So,
they don't. You have just the last bit, but let's just go. I mean, that's awards, man. But anyway, let's just go to go to the fan corner and then we just wrap it up from there. This is just like a recap of what's going on. Obviously, the season has ended. Both of our teams are not playing in the Club World Cup anyway, so I guess it's just transfers for us. So
yeah.
what's happening with Liverpool? You guys have like some major stories right now, obviously. So you guys
Yeah.
just give us a rundown of what's going on with the transfers and what are your plans basically for the off season?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think both ins and outs. There we expect to see a lot of ins and maybe probably a few outs. I think the biggest story is Florian Vats. I think we had two bits. The first
Rejected.
one I,
Yeah.
I can confirm it was rejected. The second one I don't know what I had. I don't know what is the
I
what
think
is
it's
the
rejected. I'm not sure, but I think they're gonna give a final last bid. I'm not sure. I
okay.
think that was the
Yeah.
don't quote
So
me on that, but yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. He's the biggest one. He's the biggest one. Of course, we already had his teammate, that is Frimpong, which is a different player to who's leaving Trent. But I think he's a very good player and a good addition to the team. He's a young player doing well. And then we signed a goalkeeper here and there. We have the Mamadashvili coming in, the Bosnian keeper who we signed last season, but he will be kind of a new player because he was on loan at Valencia. Queef Kelleher has gone to Brentford. So ins and out is happening. Luis Diaz, Barcelona inquiring about him. Darwin Nunes, I had. He could be leaving. Even Cody Gakpo, I've had rumors about him. Real Madrid, I've even heard
Yeah.
about McAllister. So there's a lot that could happen. But maybe some of those moves, like McAllister, I don't see Liverpool letting him go in this
It's just
3 years,
rumors, basically. Yeah, I think.
4 or 5 years in his
But
contract.
it's Real
Unless,
Madrid, man. It's real.
well,
and
then
and
then
Real is looking. They're looking for a midfielder. Basically,
yeah,
they
then they
want
will.
a midfielder.
But then
Yeah.
they will have to break the bank, just like Barcelona did with Coutinho. And if they break the bank, we don't mind selling.
Mm.
If we
Everybody has a
think,
price,
if
basically.
yeah, if you think like you can get for example, when we sold Coutinho, what did we did? We went for Van Dijk and Alisson, and
Mhm.
that if you look at it in both sides, you will say Liverpool made the right decision in selling Coutinho at that time, even though why not. We are not really happy Coutinho leaving us, but in a business sense, it was the best
Mhm.
the best
Mhm.
decision to make. So if Real Madrid come out with a crazy amount of money for McAllister, he's a top player. We love him. Then why not? Then you go and try to build your team again. But yeah, those are the things. And of course, if Darwin leaves, maybe we will have a striker. We will need a striker to cover. And also, then we have some contract issues. Ibrahim Konate, he has not yet signed his contract.
Mhm.
But we are not in a rush because I think the Club World Cup is
Still
making
early. Still,
make
it's
it
still
yeah,
early. Yeah.
Club World Cup is making it feel like you need to sign now. But I don't see, I'm still very chill about the transfer window. But like you said last time, maybe somebody will come in. Well, you have to come in with 130 million. How many clubs are going to spend that amount of money for Florian Vats right now? Very, very, very.
Big timing. Yeah.
It's a big. It's a huge money. And I'm not like I love the
Uh,
kid. I love him to come to
why?
Liverpool, but
Mhm.
I'm not that entirely convinced that because those numbers
He's
is not
what that?
something we are
Yeah.
used to
I'm
them.
surprised. Why does it cost that much? it's still like I think he's a good player in my opinion. I don't think he's world class yet.
Mhm,
Because to be world class, you have to do it for a few years consistently on that level for me to consider you world class.
mhm.
You
I
know,
think
but
he's a good
maybe they're looking at the
the
potential.
future.
He's what
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
23,
yeah.
and he can probably play until he's what,
Yeah,
you can get
his
like
if you look
he's
at
a
his
10 years
numbers
from
though, if you look at his numbers is really, really scary.
consistency.
Yeah, his consistency. Like, he won the Bundesliga player of the season for 2 consecutive seasons, last season and the
Okay,
previous season, despite that. So the potential is huge. He could be a good player. And but the fit again at Liverpool, what is his position? Like
hmm
I still I'm trying to understand.
he's
Unless
a
we are
left
signing.
winger, unless
Yeah, he's.
yeah.
I get that. I guess he's no left winger and a number 10 player, kind of.
Mhm.
Even not necessarily the one who will hog the third line and then try to cut in like Luis Diaz or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Salas. He's not like that. He's more like a number 10 behind the striker, creating those final balls. And
Mhm.
he can take shots from central areas. He like to be central, but he can open wide. Somewhat. So, and then Liverpool, you look at that position. McAllister plays in that position, and then the other side is almost like both of them have an amazing season. If he's coming in, like, what position does he take? Like, he can take the right, of course. Diaz is there or Gakpo is there. He can, like, there is no position that I would say like Liverpool are missing this position. That's why they need this player. I cannot see it
Mhm.
in the squad
So
from the past.
why did they target him? Are they trying to
But
prepare for Salah? Like, because you need
but
to have a marquee signing or somebody who's like a
yeah,
talisman. Salah is the talisman right now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think
But
he's also versatile. The versatility, like
mm,
you say, he can play. You said winger. I tell you, he's playing as a 10, and he can also play as a striker. Sometimes he plays as a striker
false
who will come
nine,
and
yeah.
force nine and come and drop. Maybe that is what. But to be honest, I cannot see a position in that team that, for example, when we wanted Caicedo, it was clear.
Yeah,
Liverpool are
you
missing that.
guys needed a
We are
defensive
missing that
midfielder,
number
yeah.
six. We need a number
Yeah,
six. I
yeah.
cannot see that his positions in the team. But of course, he's a top player. I'll be very happy to have him with all that being said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For us, man, like it was a season that I wanted to end so badly. It's the worst season like in my lifetime supporting Manchester United. The worst season. But in a way, the silver lining, I feel like missing out on the Champions League, especially losing the Europa Cup final to Spurs, kind of like was a wake up call basically because right now the way things are moving, I hope it continues because we already signed Cunha before the season even ended. We were just holding on to wait for the season to end. So basically, our attack line last season, I think we didn't have anybody in our attack that had 10 goals in the league. All of them, Bruno 8, Ahmad 8, and I think Zeg Hoyland with 4 or something like that. So it's ridiculous. You can't win games if you don't score goals. It's very simple. It's
Mm,
math. So
that's
even
true.
if your defense is good, but you don't score goals, what do you think is going to happen? You don't get the points. So many games, like honestly, the position is bad. But if you watch our games, right, most of those games we played, we should have won. But because the quality up front was so bad, we can't score goals. We missed so many chances. You understand? Obviously, we lost some of those games like 1-0, So just a few games that I said, okay, these probably the team they were playing against, they are really like they're better than us, like the Newcastle game and all these things. But
Mhm.
now, if they're moving the way they're moving, sign Cunha already, who's one of the best players in moves, and I think he's like a Premier League proven player. He's been doing it for like 2 or 3 seasons now, and we've been doing this before at during Sir Alex Ferguson's time, where we signed the best players in the Premier League because the Premier League is changing.
Mhm.
Football is changing in a way that like we don't have the time right now. We don't have the time to go and bring players and give them 1 or 2 seasons for them to try and find a way to, like to bet them in and give them time to adapt to the league. We don't have time right now because other teams are developing as well. All these Brentfords, Bournemouth, they're now pushing, like coming and like giving you a game, basically. So you'll be competing with them if you don't really level up your players. Signing Cunha. Next is Momo, who I think we've already had one
That
bid
boy.
rejected. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he wants us. Like
But
I think we just need to finalize it. It's just I think a few millions, according to reports. It's just a few millions. Like how many we're going to pay upfront, which is obviously very important. So even those two players alone, it's like what, because Momo had what, 20 goals, I
20,
think
20
20
goals,
goals,
yeah.
20 assists,
20
something like that.
goals. Mhm.
Oh
20
yeah,
goals.
and then 20 goals. I think Cunha also is almost in the double figures. That alone can push us forward maybe a few couple of like positions, probably even top 10 or even ninth or whatever. But the team is not bad. It's just like we need quality attackers, basically. Bruno, there was another rumor. Basically, he confirmed it that Al Hilal wanted to buy him, but he said he's not going. I think he wants to play in Europe still. He still has a few years left. But we wanted to do a rebuild, and there's this discussion about Bruno whether he should leave so that we can get money and buy players, midfielders. But he's not going. So, and we are adding to the quality that we have because he was our best player last season, basically, or even the last few seasons. So the only issue I have with he doesn't really fit like a traditional 10 under this coach, like a left or right 10. He struggled there. His best position has been in the midfield, and he's not really a midfielder, but he can play there. And we all know his track record is that he's not a very disciplined player. You guys like playing against him, obviously, because he's so easily irritated. So that's the issue. He's improved this season that just passed, but then whether he can do it consistently on a consistent basis. So we need to sign a midfielder, basically. So, and the last icing on the cake, which is I think is the most important, even more than the tens, is a striker. We know Hoyland. It's like I feel bad for him as a Man U fan, honestly, because it wasn't supposed to be only him leading the line. He's too young to be doing that. We were supposed to have a main striker and then Hoyland coming as like an understudy, coming in the second half and getting his minutes. But then all of a sudden you find this young kid coming who just spent one season in Italy and then coming to be the main striker for a big club.
Yeah, that was
too much pressure, man. It's too much pressure. Like, to be fair to him, it's too much pressure. And now I just hope that either they sell him or he just goes on loan for a whole year and then comes back, because I don't think you can recover from this right now. It's gonna.
So what are you looking at for a striker now? Where are you looking at?
I'm looking at Gyökeres. They're talking about him. That's the former striker for our coach that was at Sporting. If he had won the Champions League, because he wants to play Champions League football. That was the top.
It would have been easier.
Fabio said that, Fabio Romano, who's a transfer guru, said that it would have been 99% confirmed if we had won the Europa and qualified for Champions League for next season. But now it's a bit, crazy because PSR is to be considered. Obviously, we can't spend as much because we don't have the profits coming in from Champions League football. So we have to sell. Garnacho is up for sale. The coach said that he has to find a new club.
I had
Rashford, Anthony. Yeah, he wants to stay in the Premier League. So Arsenal, not Arsenal, Chelsea were the ones. Even when in January when we were talking about going to Napoli and all this,
Chelsea
were
also
there.
Yeah.
So now Arsenal, they're interested. I think some other teams too. I think Aston Villa is also there as well. But I think he wants to stay in the Premier League. I mean, it's just so bad because he also is also the same boat as Hoyland, where you put your hopes in this young kid who is also developing. You know what I mean? And then when they don't produce, they have to go. It's not supposed to be that way, but he needs to go because we need to raise funds as well. But yeah, man, hopefully my dream window is if we sign those three players. We already signed one, basically confirmed. So if we sign Momo, Gyökeres, which is like a dream for me, striker, those three already improves our forward attack by, let's say, about 50 goals. Or let's say 40 goals, 45, 50 goals minimum.
Yeah, because Mbeumo last season 20 goals, 7 assists, and then Cunha,
I don't know how many goals, 15 goals,
15 goals, 6 assists, so 21 goals.
Imagine Gyökeres scored 56. If you take in the English tax, even if you cut it down to 30 goals, that's already 50 goals. Easy.
Yeah. No, definitely. You guys did a new forward line. Bruno. Yeah. So you want to sell Bruno? Would you?
I would sell him because it funds a rebuild. He doesn't really fit into the it's just if I want to remove the emotion out of it, he's a very good player. You can say it's just bad that where we are as a club. You can't call him a legend, but he's a very important player. He's done a lot for us. You understand? But he's 31 or he's going to be 31, whatever.
The age is
right?
There for him.
He's fit, but he's going to be a bit slightly downwards from here, even though he can continue at this level for a few more years. If you get somebody who's paying you crazy money for him and at this age, and he's open to going, definitely sell him. You might you don't want to replace him like for like, but you might get 2 or 3 players that fit into the way the coach wants to play. You can rebuild this team. But he doesn't want to go. That's fine because it's fine. It's okay. But we need to find money elsewhere. We need to be creative and
So
sell.
where can you make that money now?
Rashford is gonna go. Anthony is gonna go. Sancho is gonna go.
Sancho
Garnacho is gonna go.
the problem with all these players is wages.
I don't think Sancho is on big wages.
No.
He's easily sellable.
He's 250. That's why Chelsea returned him back to you.
Oh, Sancho. Garnacho.
Okay. Of course, Garnacho can go. Garnacho, you can make money from him.
Yeah,
but
so
I mean,
he's
I'm talking about these
sell it.
three players: Sancho, Rashford, and
Rashford is willing to. Rashford is willing to take a pay cut to go. He's definitely because he wants Barcelona, but Barcelona. I don't know what's going on there.
What kind of pay cut is that gonna be?
That's up to him if he wants to go because.
It's more gonna be like okay, we will let you go for free. And then you
get. Gonna sell him. He has a price tag.
So the thing how this the way how this transfers work is very strange. The way
that's what I'm saying. If he really wants to go, he's gonna have to take a pay cut. Or else what's gonna happen is we're gonna loan him again and then pay the difference in wages.
Yeah,
that's the thing. With Sancho only has 1 year. He for him, I don't know why it's because Chelsea wanted to buy him. They wanted to pay us the 25 million, but he doesn't want to accept anything less than a 200,000.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the problem.
The wages is more important to these players
than thank you very much. Thank you. So if you don't want, because the club already told you you don't have a future here. Yeah. So it's up to you. If you are a really professional and you really want to play football, you would take the wage cut, right? You would take it. That means you're not really interested in playing football, basically. That's your problem. That's how I look at it.
No, but the way you do is important. Boy. At the end of the day,
but it's important. But if you look at it, it's important, right? But what do you prefer, like sitting on the bench and not being part of the for a whole year, or going to play, and then from there you can get an improved contract in the team that you're going to play?
No, but that's why I say when they leave. For example, Chelsea did this a few times with a few players, right? They were on high wages. What they did, they tell you to go for free. So if you go for free, there is a sell-on fee, right? The club, that club will sell you a sell-on fee. That sell-on fee, you can take a percentage with the club. It's similar to what Trent did at Madrid, right? The reason why he preferred the free transfer is like
his wages.
The wages is there one thing, but let's say what is Trent what? As a footballer, if anybody wanted to sign Trent from Liverpool before he leave, like if he was on a good contract,
let's say 80 million. 80 million.
Let's say 80 million. So Real Madrid know, okay, let's say that was Trent and Real Madrid have their agent will discuss, because at the end of the day, Trent's agent will sit and Real Madrid's agent will sit and they will discuss about that. Okay, this is what this player is worth. So now the sell-on fee that you will give him, you will take 50% of that, and Trent will take 50%. 40 million for Trent, 40 million for you. So you have to pay him that money, which was supposed to be the price. But still, in Real Madrid's terms, or in Real Madrid's point of view, is they are paying 40 million less for the player who was going to work
definitely
8 million for them. So this is where I'm talking about. So if Man United is going to allow, if this player is going to allow that, they will say, okay, you leave us for free, then that sell-on fee from that.
I don't think Man will do that. I don't know why. But
if you don't need the player.
Other clubs have done it before, but
Chelsea have done
it. I've never seen Man U do that before. I don't know.
But you have players with 350,000, 200, 300,000, or else you leave them on loan and then you still pay the money. What's the benefit for you as a club?
No, you don't pay the money. Actually, that's what happens. Is the loan you split the cost. For example, Sancho. Sancho. I think Chelsea was paying. They paid more. I think more than us, if I'm not mistaken. But then we also pay a percentage of his wages. We don't pay all. We don't pay all the wages because I don't think we got any transfer fee from them.
Exactly.
So basically, that's how you do.
They just pay the penalty, right? The penalty, the 5 million penalty.
5 million. It's Chelsea, man. Chelsea is something else. It's so annoying. Anyways, man.
Let's see how it goes.
For me, I think like if we get those three players, and the keeper. Onana is also an issue, but I don't think it's a key issue right now.
I heard Sanchez. You guys want to buy Sanchez? Is that true?
I've not heard it anywhere. I don't know who's feeding those.
I saw that somewhere.
I've never heard it anywhere.
I was just laughing. I saw somebody put up a team. He said this is gonna be like Man United. Of course, I see the Cunhas, the Boemos there, and all that. And then I see Sanchez in goal. I said,
that's not true. There's no way you're buying Sanchez. Onana is better than Sanchez. If they want, you can give them Onana for free. If you don't want Sanchez.
Okay.
How do you get a poor error prone keeper and then you want to replace with another error prone keeper? That doesn't make any sense.
So what is the solution there? Let's talk
I
about the
think
keeper.
we were talking about Martinez. Aston Villa. You know that they're going to sell him, right?
Oh, he's leaving.
So
He's leaving. Yeah, he's leaving.
he's leaving.
Definitely.
So if you can get him, that would be a good signing for us. But we don't know how much they're going to ask for.
And then
But
his age. How about his age?
I think he's 30 something. You know, keepers can play for a long time.
They can
Right?
go for long. Yeah.
The only issue is because recently he's been a bit poor. This season he's like he hasn't done.
Yeah.
He's,
You know,
like,
he's still living on that. He's still living on the World Cup.
I think so. Maybe it's the he
World
wants to
Cup.
leave. I don't know what's the problem, but for now, it's not a major issue. But if we can, at the end of the season, if we can sort out that keeper issue, probably get in like, even a really good young good keeper to challenge Onana, I will take that. I will take it. And then also a midfielder like a 6 who's also good with the ball, because we got Ugarte last season, but he's not really the best.
How are you, Ulpa? What is he doing with Casemiro? He's not moving.
Casemiro is there. He's also on huge wages, and you know,
Man United and wages.
That's it. But I think they're getting better at this. I don't think anybody else apart from Bruno is going to get those 350 crazy wages. Bruno is the last one because they already said it. You know.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be performance based for now, because since we didn't qualify for Champions League, most of those wages are going to be slashed. Casemiro's wages is now slashed now because we didn't qualify for Champions League too. So So last segment before we go, I think it's been long enough. Looking ahead, FPL for next season. Next season FPL. What are your key thoughts on going for next season? Are you expecting like any players that you're looking forward to owning, or like early shouts for next season? Players that we should keep an eye on. You know, I think we also talked about this. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The first thing I say, maybe the teams that are coming up. A couple of teams very exciting. I'm disappointed that Sunderland are losing.
Sunderland,
they're losing
Bellingham.
Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, but I think he had a decent season. But Leeds, you know, whenever Leeds are in the Premier League, it's exciting.
It's fun. Yeah,
it's fun. They will give you FPL assets, so it's a club that I'm looking forward to. The other thing that
who are the teams? Leeds?
Leeds, Sunderland, and is it Birmingham? Is it Birmingham? I think Birmingham.
I don't really keep an eye.
Yeah, but I think Middlesbrough. No, not Middlesbrough. Leeds. If you look at the league table, you will see the teams. Anyways, you will see the teams that come. So I'm always excited when it comes to this. So maybe Leeds is a club that I'll be looking at the start of the season. Burnley. Yeah.
They are back again.
They're back again. But they never offer us anything, right? But Leeds they do offer us something.
Just go back down again as soon as
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like I'm excited to see what happens with Mbemo at United.
If he comes, they're gonna own him. Yeah, it's like
it's
fun, man. It's fun.
But your team too. Yeah, they can always get these good players, and then they make them poor.
But to be honest,
it doesn't happen
in the last 2 years. Which good player did we have that we actually like was disappointed? We haven't had any big player recently.
Maybe my boy only Rashford.
That's it.
That's it.
I was watching United Sun, and they mentioned like the last time we scored, I don't know how many goals, was 5 years ago, like 60 plus goals.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get to 60 goals in the last 5 years. That's really alarming, you know.
That's crazy.
What's that about?
Wow.
Like, man, it's I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, the other major thing, I think we discussed this in one of our episodes, was what do you think the impact of this Club World Cup is going to be?
Yeah.
To next season, like, is it going to make our FPL like first few games really tough? Because these players are going to be coming back for extended holidays.
For those two teams, definitely. For those two teams, Chelsea and Man City, I would expect their players to have an extended period.
Holiday, yep.
So we'll come back maybe 1 week or 2 weeks before the season starts, or even 1 week before the season starts.
And they might not even feature in
they
game
might not
week
even
1 or 2.
yeah. So I think they will play. It will have a huge impact on their availability or their selection at the start of the season, and how they cope with a long summer.
It's going to be a slow start, yeah.
Yeah. I hope they have a slow start, of course, in the context
that
of
obviously we all want that to happen. So it gives us a chance, especially us, man.
Yeah.
Arsenal don't have any excuse next season. If they sign a striker, which they look like they'll be doing in Sesko, I don't think they have any excuses next season. It's year 6. Project stage, yeah, and 6 episode 6. What is there now to win? You have to win something, man. No more excuses. But yeah, that's it, man. It's been a long one, but I think it's well warranted. There's some segment that we skip because of time, but let me guess. I think I'll end on this. The last, who's your player of the season apart from the obvious one? Salah is like, the main guy. Which other pick would you say is your deserved player of the season?
Again, I will push it to the guy, Mbemo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He would be in the team of the season, obviously. And if you're thinking about FPL only, he's there, starting the scoring points. And if you look at the price point that he started with, of course, it's not a price. Get a good point, but with the price and the point study that he gave you, I think he was really good this season. So he would be my player of the season, FPL wise, and if I don't want to pick any Liverpool player, of course he is up there also for the player of the season in the Premier League. He was nominated for the player of the season.
I didn't even see that player of the season list. Actually, I didn't even come across it anyway.
Yeah,
interesting.
You don't want to.
I have no business looking at it. I have other things to worry about. Oh man.
How about you? Who?
I think my strong challenger would be Isak, because in a season where strikers have been a bit of a letdown, just Wood and Isak. But I think Isak, man, because every team in the Premier League, or even probably in the world right now, will want him as their striker. He's that good. He's been that good this season, honestly. And Newcastle, man, they're lucky that they qualified for the Champions League. Or else it would have been a difficult task to keep hold of it. Yeah, definitely. So he is my player of the season. I hope he stays fit the whole of next season, because they're going to need him if they are playing.
Newcastle are in Champions League with him, though. He has 2 years left in his contract, right?
And he hasn't extended yet.
Like even I said, I tried to convince him to go to extend, but he's not. I don't think he's not going to extend it.
I think he's trying to consider his future carefully.
Yeah. He's not going to extend it, regardless. If they want to keep him, then they can keep him, but he's not going to extend the contract. And next season is going to be very difficult for them.
He has a chance, to move to a big club, because Barcelona, Lewandowski is about to leave. So the timing has to be right. Real Madrid, I don't know if they need a striker. Who knows? To just see what Alonso does. Yeah. And Liverpool, you guys too. Maybe you guys are all just waiting.
We are waiting. Maybe next year, I think Liverpool will attack that one.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be. He's going to have his pick. So because I feel like
this is the best time to sell him for Newcastle. But Newcastle are being so.
Yeah. They want him to, because they're building a project, but I think he's getting past the point where he's too big for the club now. I'm
he's
not,
past the project.
All due respect to Newcastle and their fans.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah, he's a big player now, man. Honestly.
Yeah, he's past the project.
Yeah, man. So, guys, thank
Final
you for a long season that has finally ended. This is our review. We thank you for supporting the pod and supporting the page. Jola Football Bantaba, as always. Please watch out. We might, break out with a few episodes here, especially when the game restarts again. When the player starts coming out, prices and the ones that we are itching to own and all these things. Like we always do, we'll come up with an episode like before game week 1, obviously. 1 or 2 episodes. So yeah, Chama, can end it,
Well,
man. That's it.
yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for always supporting.
As
Thank you.
always. Catch you guys in the next one. At least take a break from FPL, have some fun.
Yeah.
Live
Yeah.
life. Don't stress, man. Take care, guys. Peace.